Early contests build momentum for 2024 contenders seeking the White House. C-SPAN offers unfiltered coverage of events leading into early primaries and caucuses. Get access to speeches and results with the free app, C-SPAN Now, or watch live on the C-SPAN networks.
Who remembers the BJ and Bill show all those years ago on WOLZ? Well, many have said they missed the show, and guess what? They're back! Welcome to the BJ and Bill podcast.
Welcome to BJ and Bill, the podcast. This episode 42. We are just a part of the podcast playground. Welcome to the podcast, my friends.
Welcome back, my friends, to the show that never ends. We're so glad you could attend. Come inside, come inside. Emerson, Lake and Palmer. Emerson, Lake and Palmer from when I was a kid. Oh, my God. Set the Wayback Machine for the 70s.
Wow, man.
I know. Wow, man. Wow.
Hey, don't forget to review us. That's right, people. Review. Give us your 5-star review. Subscribe on Apple, Spotify, wherever you get your favorite podcast. And we shall appreciate it, my friends.
Yes, we do. Yes, we do. So lots has happened in the past week. NBA season over. NHL season over. So, you know, both the Florida teams, unfortunately, were on the short end of the stick there. So, but life goes on, and so does the baseball season and all that. So, yeah.
And I don't know. I haven't really watched that many games of the football league that is playing now.
I've watched zero. I watched a little of the XFL. Is that the other one that was on? And I didn't even know there was going to be another one, but there it is.
I think it's basically the same league, just kind of redone.
How many times are they going to try summer football before people figure it out that if it's not the NFL, it's just not going to work? I mean, well, I shouldn't say that. I mean, they can try. Good luck. You need a lot of help, but you know, good luck.
I'm a little tired today.
You were saying you had airport duty this morning. What's up?
Yeah, well, okay. So when you have to wake up, or I don't know what the proper wording would be,
wake up
at like 2:30.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that's not really waking up, is it? That's you had a little nap and now it's time to get up again.
And I don't even know if I took a nap because you're laying there. I went to bed at 10 and I knew I was going to have to be awake at 2.
Yep.
I never really fell asleep. I just kept saying in my brain, you got to wake up at 2.
Yeah.
Now I did come home like around 4 after stopping at Waffle House, having a little breakfast.
Oh, did you really? I love Waffle House.
The perfect timing too is like right around 3:30, 4 o'clock.
Oh, that's the prime time for Waffle House.
Yeah, because all the drunks were pretty well there and gone.
Right.
And all the early morning people weren't there yet. So we kind of had the whole place to ourselves, just us, the waitress, and the cook.
That's terrific. I love that.
When we first got there, there was one party of partiers, I think.
Uh-huh.
And someone else was talking about going to the airport, but they left pretty much as soon as we got there, and we had the whole place to ourselves.
It's the perfect combination. It's airport, middle of the night, Waffle House. I mean, that's perfect. I mean, there should be like a TV series like that, you know, pick a couple of Waffle House. Oh, I shouldn't say that out loud. I think we're onto something. Pick a few Waffle Houses at near strategic airports around the country, big ones, small ones, you know, and just set up a camera and let it roll and see what happens. That would be awesome.
Well, I think what was funny, it's gone now. One of them is closed, but for the longest time at in Florida, at I-4 and 27, there were building a new Waffle House right next to the old Waffle House. So before they closed the one and they opened the other, you could drive by and it looked like you had 2 Waffle Houses just next to each other. They're still next to each other, only the other one now has its lights completely off.
Oh, okay. But it's still there. I mean, they'll probably turn it into a Dunkin' Donuts or a coffee drive-through or Scotty's or something like that. Do you have Scotty's drive-throughs in your neighborhood?
I don't never remember Scotty's.
It's a drive-through only. It's about the size of my living room. The building is about the size of my living room, which isn't saying much. And it's drive-through windows on both sides. It's called Scotty's. It's a coffee place. I have 2 of them here in Gainesville. Pretty popular. Pretty darn popular little drive-throughs.
And they have around here that I've seen.
Yeah.
I'll Google it later.
There you go. So anyway, that's all good. So there you go. So so you made it to the airport. You delivered the daughter to the airport.
Well, we actually delivered the daughter to Wawa, the gas station.
Oh, okay. There's no airplanes there, BJ. There's no airplanes.
Well, she's going with another teacher friend who has a son or daughter, I forget which one, in Colorado.
Mm-hmm.
And my daughter's going for 5 days. The other teacher friend's going for like 3 weeks.
Oh, sweet.
But her husband drove them to the airport, but they were coming from a different direction than, my daughter lives or we live.
Right.
So we kind of we actually met at I-4 and 27.
Okay.
At the Wawa there, and we did a little drop off.
Drop off one kid, pick up another kid. Good for you. So yeah, Colorado, not a bad place to be in the summertime compared to the heat of Florida.
Yeah, they're going to Colorado Springs.
I admit I have never been to Colorado. It's on the bucket list.
I told her to enjoy the gummies.
Now, you and I were talking about this before we started, and I said you could buy gummies anywhere. And I've even, shall we say, partaken of a couple here and there with various friends. But you're saying they're a step above in Colorado? Is that what you're saying?
Well, unless you have the medical grade here in Florida.
Right.
You can get the recreational grade in Colorado. And it's just as good as the medical grade, if not better, here.
Oh. So they are indeed 420 friendly.
Oh, yes, very.
That's where they invented it.
Now, I have not been there, but my son has. And he says there's stores where, like in candy stores where they have the different, candies.
Sure.
In the different containers.
Sure.
It has the different Panama Red, Acapulco
flavors.
Gold.
Yeah.
It has, the good stuff. And that's all I'm going to say, and we will move on.
Oh, I see. You are. I was just about to ask if you had ever sampled any of these products, but you're moving on. So, okay.
Well, I think we already know
the answer.
Let's just say in high school.
Oh, high school. Come on.
Yes.
High school.
And maybe even a few years after high school. Yes.
High school. We know your high school.
Nothing recently, though.
Not even a gummy.
Nope. And there's a reason why.
Oh, is this a medical thing?
Yeah, because I don't know what they would do to me anymore now. I'm so old anyway, they probably wouldn't even give me a transplant. But, in case one of the transplant goes bad and you need another transplant.
Right.
They, you know how often I go get checkups.
You're there every week. You're on the frequent flyers program at Tampa General.
At any time they want.
Right.
In that blood test, they can do a drug test.
Oh.
And they always said if you have traces of drugs in your blood when they do one of those checks, no more transplants for you.
Oh, wow.
So I have been pretty good.
Okay. All right.
But now that I'm getting older, maybe I might want to jump on the gummy bandwagon.
Well, I will tell you that I have sampled 2 different kinds on 2 different occasions. And the thing that it's not, as they say in the computer business, this is not a bug. This is a feature. It does that. That's the way it works. That it takes a long time for it to hit you. It's at least you got to plan 90 minutes in advance. So I'm going to be, feeling good in an hour and a half from now when I take these gummies now. And that to me is it just kind of seems a little Really? You can't? And maybe I'm just having the cheapo recreational ones. I don't know.
I think that's what you're having.
Maybe so.
Now, back in the day, again, we're going to go back to my high school and early 20 years.
Yes.
They had this thing called what they would call back in the day.
I hear this
creeper
coming.
weed.
Call what?
Creeper weed.
Oh, I think I remember you talking about ditch weed.
Well, this is creeper weed.
Okay, and what is that?
It was really good weed, but you didn't get the brunt of the effects right away. That's why they called it creeper.
Oh, because it crept up on you. Oh,
and sometimes you'd go, "Oh man, I'm not even getting a buzz off of this." So you'd,
take some more.
Take some more, yeah. And then all of a sudden, boom! It would hit you like a brick wall. Going, oh my God, I am stoned. Oh, I miss those days.
I hear that. Well, all right, ladies and gentlemen. So much for family-friendly show today, but that's okay.
Yesterday, we record this on Mondays, as we always say.
Yes.
And it drops to the public on Wednesdays.
Yes.
So Sunday was Father's Day.
Yes, it was.
I love my children, the both, and I had an excellent Father's Day.
Good.
I know it might sound like it wasn't balanced, but it was.
What does that mean?
So Saturday, my son said, because I told you he's into the Grubhub,
yes,
DoorDash, all those.
Yes.
Dad, what do you want for lunch or dinner today? I'm going to send something over to you.
Oh, nice.
And he sent me some of the restaurants in the area, and there's this place where you can get a shrimp boil.
Shrimp boil.
And, lunchtime, it's reasonably priced too. So I said, I'll take the lunch shrimp bowl. That'll be great.
Sure.
He sends me the seafood broil.
Crab. A bigger deal, I think. You should see his face, folks. If you can see his face on the podcast. Okay. Here's the menu. Go for it. Okay, go for it. Shrimp.
It had some sausage in it.
Lovely.
And then it had some, corn on the cob.
Of course.
And it had some potatoes.
Sure.
And let's continue.
Oh, okay. But wait, there's more.
Had some crab legs.
Ooh.
Had some lobster.
Whoa.
And it had some, what do they call it in the shells? Clams.
Oh, clams. Yeah, I don't do clams, but I hear you. Yeah, I hear you.
Had all of that.
Wow.
And I told him I wanted the shrimp boil. So he was afraid maybe shrimp wasn't in the seafood boil. So he got an extra shrimp boil.
Wow.
So we still have some shrimp to eat later today.
Nice.
In the refrigerator.
Very
which was an
nice.
excellent present. My son, he's making a little money, so he doesn't mind spending a little money.
God bless him.
So yesterday, my daughter,
right. She sent you a card.
No. She said, what do you want to do?
Oh, okay.
For lunch today?
Oh, okay.
It could have been anything.
Right.
It could have been Outback Steakhouse. It could have been Waffle House. Could have been anywhere I wanted to go.
I got you.
My answer was, because I have not been there since they've opened, I want to go to White Castle.
White Castle. You have a White Castle in your neighborhood?
Yes. Well, not in my neighborhood. We had to drive about 40 minutes to get there.
Okay. Still.
It's over by SeaWorld.
Okay.
And there was a line out the door.
Really?
I kid you not. Look at my Facebook page. If you want to go to the BJ Odom Facebook page,
I'll have to check
that out. I
have
a video up.
Okay.
And it went all the way. And it's really, really funny. They have these where you can go up and, like at some McDonald's where you got to order your own on the computer.
Yeah. I hate
None of them work.
Never.
Now, you think on a Monday afternoon that the Chick-fil-A line is big? Oh my God, the drive up, it looked like an LA freeway.
At White Castle.
and you went inside. And like I said, lined up out the door.
It's just not that good. I mean, I know it's a what do you call that? It's
Novelty.
It's a novelty. It's a one-off. But so was it a Father's Day thing? I mean, did you see did it look like a Father's Day crowd? Lots of fathers and kids?
To me, it looked like a Sunday crowd. I don't think that many people were there for Father's Day.
No. Okay. Wow.
But
Wow.
so we're by SeaWorld, so it isn't a very tourist area.
Yeah.
But I have been told by many of people that there is always now I learned there was one in Tampa, which I didn't know there was one in Tampa Bay.
Really?
And there's also the one in Orlando. And as far as I know, that's the only two White Castles.
Yeah, I don't even think the company, I mean, like as a friend, they might be just one-off, kind of like somebody just bought the name or something like that and puts it out there. Cause I don't even know that the company, I shouldn't talk like that.
Now up north, up north, they're still big.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was a White Castle franchise. The same, same logo, same everything you get when you get it from the freezer section at your local supermarket.
Nah, forget it. They're worthless. Yeah. No, you got to get them fresh and hot. You got to, buy the bag, buy the dozen or so and just wolf them down. Yeah.
Well, yeah, I bought 4.
Uh-huh.
It was the number one.
It's a snack.
The number one was 4 and also fries.
Right.
And a drink.
Right.
And my wife did say, because everybody in the party got the 4-pack.
Right.
My wife gave me her 4th.
Okay.
I was surprised the daughter ate all 4 of them. I was proud of that young lady.
Good for her.
Yeah. So that was my Father's Day. And I know some people are saying, well, you got this big, seafood boil from your son. And I want everyone to know that I'm going on record. She asked me where I wanted to go. I could have probably said, I want to go back to where the shrimp, I want.
Right.
But no.
Okay.
I hadn't been to the White Castle. I've heard so much about it. And I remember it from up north.
Yeah.
And I said, let's go to White Castle.
Pretty sure I would have made a different decision there, but okay. That's fine. That's fine. I had a much more traditional. Now, I'm not a father. I'm whatever, yesterday.
You might be a donor.
Huh?
You might be a donor.
Who knows? Anything is possible. No, it's not. Saturday, I had a full day of, my little part-time gig delivering pizza for Domino's. And I had several dads at the door say Happy Father's Day. And I dutifully said Happy Father's Day to you back to them as well, even though I didn't bother to tell them that I'm not a father, but that's okay. It's all right. If it made for better tips, I'm all for it. So, and then yesterday for yours truly, very traditional Father's Day, steak out on the grill. Absolutely. Thank you very much. So, in fact, there's a little bit of leftover steak in the fridge now that I think about that, and that might have to be lunch when we're done. So, all good.
Now, any more drama at the Domino's Pizza
at Domino's Pizza,
Florida?
I'll tell you, it's a weird thing. It's kind of like, it seems to me as though they're kind of replacing everybody, everything, all that. Now, every time I go in, there's new faces, and now that's not totally weird because people come and go at those places all the time. Kids work for a week and decide that that's not for them, or they decide they don't want to work, which a lot of young people have decided.
Let's be honest. There's kids that work there for a couple hours.
Yeah.
And they're gone.
Yeah. Good luck, people. I mean, and I've talked to some of the young people. I'm trying to be the old voice of wisdom and reason. And of course, kids could care less about wisdom and reason when they are 18, 19, 25 years old. They got the world in front of them. So, but I'm like, guys, it's just a thing. It's just a job. It's just, you make a few bucks, you come in, you take it easy for all. It ain't rocket science. It ain't, brain surgery, whatever they always say. But, everybody's complaining all the time. Like, I'm happy. Okay, good luck, guys. I don't know what you're going to do in life, but good luck with that.
But in radio, there was always people that would be complaining.
Yes.
about different things about the station.
Oh, of course.
About the way things were done and things like that.
Of course.
I think the funniest thing I ever did, I always wanted to work in a major market radio station.
Mm-hmm.
So I got to go to Tampa Bay at WQYK it was only part-time, but it was still, hey, I was working in Tampa Bay.
Right.
Well, I was excited. I'm like, I'm in Tampa Bay. I'm in a major market. This is beautiful. And they were, the remote was going on that day, and the van driver was coming in to get the remote gear. The DJ came in to pick up, I don't know, he was there too. And then there was somebody else that worked another shift that was there. And they all came in the studio, obviously, to say, hi, what's going on? And they were all complaining. I go, this is the same thing as Fort Myers. It's just in a major market.
It kind of is. Well, I think no matter where you go, no matter what, some people enjoy their job. I get that. Some people like it. And I guess if you have a job that's, fun or creative or has good people around you or whatever, you don't mind getting up and going to work. But basically, I'm going to say, and I could be wrong, 90% of people probably would just, if you offered them the option, would just rather not go to work.
Yeah,
we work because we have to pay the bills. I get it. So, yeah, you're going to go and people are going to bitch and it's just going to be blah, same old, same old. I get it. I remember when I got to Phoenix, when I went to Phoenix and full-time, Phoenix, Arizona, top 20 market. It's top 10 now. But, oh, my God, I was on top of the world. I was on top of the world for a while. And, yeah, for the first year or so, it was a big deal. It was kind of cool. But, it starts to fade and all that. You get used to it, all that. Yeah, I hear you.
Going to put you on the spot.
Uh-oh.
Got this off your Facebook page.
My Facebook page. Oh, boy.
Your Facebook page.
Oh, dear.
I want you to explain, Bill Stevens.
Yes.
It's never too late to start a side hustle.
That's correct.
If you have $75 to $150 one-time cost and want to turn it into $300 to $600 a day,
right?
Let me know.
Right.
I'm doing
one-on-one consultation. Yeah.
That's what I thought it was. Yeah. One-on-one.
Did it say something else? Did I misspell it?
All the details.
Right.
And to help you get going.
Right.
You're in. And of course, this little post that he has, it's over a bunch of money.
And that, my friend, is what we call marketing.
So, Mr. Marketing,
right?
Do you care to indulge, or do I need to do one of these one-on-ones?
No. I'll be happy to tell you. I'm happy to tell anybody. There's how to start. There's so much that you can do online business wise that, just instead of scrolling Facebook or TikTok or whatever, you can actually communicate with people and sell things to people and make money selling things to people. And you probably know about all these young kids that are like YouTube influencers and all the young girls that show how to put on makeup and then sell you the makeup, and all the young guys that, show you how to fix things and then sell you the tools and all that sort of thing. So this is a project I'm involved with, which basically teaches people how to sell stuff online. And that's what it is. The program costs a few bucks, but it's not that. I hate that. I shouldn't say hate. I was in network marketing for a long time, where you get somebody and they get somebody and they get somebody, and we're all buying the same expensive, overpriced stuff. This is not that. This is just learn how to sell stuff online by putting out, BJ Odom puts out a video every couple of days. I mean, good God, you could do videos, you can do posts, you can do TikTok, you can do Pinterest posts, for God's sakes, for people out there. So anyway, this thing that I am talking about shows people how to learn to make money by selling things online. And it also includes the fact that when you do sign up for it, you basically are selling that same system to other folks. So people that want to learn how to generate a few bucks on the side, as they say on the TV, commercials, results not typical, or, results not guaranteed, or whatever. But yeah, you can make a few bucks doing it. That's my story. It's interesting.
You can teach me to sell my body online? Is that what
No. No. Nice thought. No. So what would you, never mind. So many bad jokes come to mind there, and none of them safe for radio.
Well, put it this way, at my age, it'd definitely be discounted.
Yeah, it would definitely. Your body would be the dollar store of online sales.
It would be like, everything now at the dollar store is really $1.25.
Yes.
If I was in the dollar store, I would be like 50 cents.
You would be on.
We'd get it less than the dollar.
You would be on closeout special at the closeout special store. You would be like 2 steps down. So but
here's what I would be. Okay, there's a store in Claremont here.
Yes.
That is like, and it helps the animals, animals in animal shelters.
Yeah.
But it's like, like, what do you call it? A thrift store.
Okay, sure.
So if I was to be sold at this thrift store, they also have a table out front of the thrift store.
Right.
And obviously stuff gets donated. They go, nobody's going to buy this.
Right.
So they put it out front in like a bin and says, feel free to take it.
So you would be in the free bin. You would be in the free bin. I understand. Now, I just had this thought, and this might be a fun thing. I mean, it would probably, now that I think about it, involve a hell of a lot of work. It would be interesting to know, with your insurance coverage and your all of that stuff, how much has it cost you, not you, how much money has been spent to get BJ Odom alive to where he is today? Have you ever thought about that? I mean, did you ever see the hospital bill for your heart transplant, for example?
I may have, but
it's got to be,
like I said, it was
insane.
pretty much paid for by insurance. But I remember even in the years that, and I don't know, and this isn't like the year I got my surgery.
Right.
But, with most insurances, you have like, where until I guess it's catastrophic or whatever.
Right.
You can pay up to like $10,000, $12,000.
Oh yeah. The deductible. Yes.
I think I have paid that almost every year of my life.
Of course.
Whatever the most that the insurance policy holder can spend.
You've spent it.
I spent it.
Yeah, but I'm talking about not just deductible. I'm just talking about total. I mean, remember the old TV show, The $6 Million Man? I'm sure you passed that a long time ago.
Oh yeah. He's got nothing on me.
I'm sure it has cost insurance companies, you, whoever, millions of dollars to get you. I mean, money well spent, let's face it. But yeah.
Although.
Uh-oh.
And I think we may have discussed this one time on this podcast. Having insurance and not having insurance. Of course, not having insurance, they make you have, I think it's 10 or 20% down before you have a transplant if you don't have insurance.
20%. It was just like buying a house, 20% down.
Because, they know probably they're not going to get all that money back from you if you don't have the money and you don't have insurance.
Right. And they're not going to repossess the heart, right?
But we've talked about this before. My wife, and this was years ago though,
right,
needed an MRI.
Right.
She went to get find out what the MRI was going to cost. It was like $500 with insurance. She went to the same company, different location, told them she did, because somebody told her that this is what you do. She went into there and told them she did not have insurance. $150.
Seriously.
$500 deductible if you had insurance. But if you went in there and cried you had no insurance, $150.
150 cash.
Someone please someone explain this to me, how the medical system works when it comes to money.
It's always, you want me to say it again? It's always about the money. Always. And if they can say, if you have insurance, we're going to charge this amount or whatever, because they know they'll get it, or they know that whatever, they will do that. And if it's like, well, the machine costs us $20 and the operator costs us $30 for the hour or whatever. So, okay, we can triple our money on that just with cash money. Yes, this is why the system is broken. This is why insurance companies and lawyers pretty much run the world. The other half is run by politicians and bankers, but you put those groups together and they run the world, and they're doing a lousy job of it. So, but I'm just one stupid little guy yelling at the, ocean here. So, but yeah, it's crazy. It is crazy. I get it.
I know we don't talk politics on this show.
Thank God.
But I am going to make a statement.
Uh-oh.
And I thought this a couple months ago. And I actually read an article about it this week.
Wait a minute. BJ Odom read something?
Well, maybe I didn't read every word, but I read the gist of the article.
Skimmed it. Yeah, okay.
They believe that possibly
the dreaded they,
if Joe Biden and Donald Trump are the nominees of the two parties,
God help us.
And you always think of the perfect storm. There needs to be the perfect storm to make something happen.
Right.
This could very well be the year that some third party candidate with a lot of charisma and, knowledge,
right,
could actually pull it off.
Interesting. I hadn't heard that theory, but I do believe that people are so fed up with the same old, and I do underline old, that if you could give us something new or different or whatever. Although I'm curious to see what happens in both parties. And again, we don't talk politics on this show, but here we go. We got a couple of minutes before the break. That a couple of interesting people have shown up in both parties to try to challenge the presumed front runners. Of course, our dear governor, Ron DeSantis here in Florida, but he's not alone. The mayor of Miami is doing the same thing. Mr. Suarez is his name. Super intelligent, super charismatic guy. I saw him at a cryptocurrency conference a year or so ago. Super interesting guy with a great story. Now, is he big enough to win the presidency? Probably not, but he could make some waves, And over on the Democratic side, Kennedy, super interesting guy. And
he has the name.
Yeah, he absolutely has the name. And he's doing I just saw it on Twitter that he just did the podcast with Joe Rogan, and YouTube wouldn't publish it. I'm like, seriously? So it's the full 2 hours or something is going to be available. Well, of course he's on Spotify, but it's also going to be on Twitter, I think. And I'm going to listen to it. I'm going to listen to every word of it because I'm curious. I want to know. Come on, give us some more options here, for God's sake. Something different, please. I'm begging you. So
I am too.
End of political rant from BJ and Bill.
Perfect timing. I even thought this. Now, though, I think the closest in our lifetime,
right,
that we ever came to a third party candidate possibly becoming a president, because they did have,
right,
gigantic numbers at the time, but his candidacy just kind of fell apart because of stupid reasons. And then some people said too, he was threatened death if he stayed in the race.
Yeah.
But that was Ross Perot.
Yes, it was. And kind of a wacko, but they're all wackos now. So yeah, I bring it on. Come on, bring it on. I want to see something different, for God's sakes. Not all right, enough. I could go off on this for an hour, and so could you, and so could everybody listening to this program, but it isn't going to change anything. So let's see what happens. Let's hope for a little shakeup and a little change, see how it goes, and we'll go from there. How's that?
Now, one other thing I am going to say, because we are on this subject.
Go for it.
Speaking of third parties, and I've thought about this too, and no one said anything. No one's mentioned it at all, but it's a possibility.
What's that?
Liz Cheney as an
Yeah.
independent.
As an independent.
I believe she would take not a big
Right.
chunk, but at least a chunk out of both parties. I really do.
I love the idea. Yes. And as we say in improv, yes. And I would love to see something like that. And what if the Democrats pull their usual, you know what, and shut out Kennedy? What if Liz picks Kennedy for vice president? A mixed ticket. I know. I'm voting for that tomorrow or whenever. Early and often, as they say in Chicago.
You wouldn't vote for that until November.
Huh?
You wouldn't vote for that until November.
Decision made. All right. The decision has been made that we will take a quick break. Go and refill your coffee or your adult beverage or whatever it is you're enjoying at the moment. And we will be right back. Welcome back to BJ and Bill, the podcast. And if you'd like to get in touch, we would love to hear from you. Surf on over to our Facebook page. Just do a search for BJ and Bill podcast. Remember spelling out the A-N-D, BJ and Bill podcast. Or you can email us directly, bjandbillpodcast@gmail.com. And we would love to hear from you no matter what. We're done with politics. Please tell me we're done with politics.
We're done with politics. But, you know, if you're a new listener,
yes,
to the BJ and Bill show, the BJ and Bill podcast, I should say.
Yes.
You can get all 42 episodes on, Apple Podcasts or Spotify, and go there and listen to all 42. You can go all the way back to number 1 and learn a little bit more about BJ and Bill, because we pretty well explain it in the first few episodes.
Right.
For somebody who's just found us over the years,
are going to go, wow, who are these two fabulous, sexy old guys? Yeah, that's what's going to happen.
I want to hear that conversation.
I do too.
Although I did notice that the Podcast Playground is running a current ad because somehow it pops up on my Facebook page.
Really?
As a sponsor for the BJ and Bill podcast.
I haven't seen that. I'll go over to I don't know that I've found the Podcast Playground Facebook page. I'll have to go dig it up and then like it or something. And then I'm sure I'll get their ads and all that. So that'd be cool. Yeah. Very cool. Love that idea. All right.
I got a question for you.
Oh boy.
And I do this. I really do, because, a lot of times when you're driving and you're alone.
Yes.
You get bored. Like, okay, you were just up, in the mountains up there in Georgia.
Yes,
Blue Ridge Mountains.
Yes, I was.
Now, on the way back, did you call anyone? Did you get bored driving by yourself? Did you ever make phone calls?
I didn't then. Well, I might have, but that, of course, if you're driving long distance, that's a great way to pass the time, is by making phone calls. And I do it all the time. Absolutely.
No deep conversations while driving on your phone. People who use their phones while driving make as many, if not more, driving errors as clinically drunk drivers. Now, so it does say deep conversations.
Right. So you're saying just the act of having a phone conversation with somebody impairs your driving just as much as if you had a few too many to drink.
Now, I don't know if this is hands-free too, or, you're holding the phone. I don't know.
Well, you can't. That's illegal in Florida and Georgia. I'm pretty sure. I know it is in Georgia because I've seen the signs. I think
fireworks are illegal in Florida too. But
what's that?
Fireworks are illegal in Florida too. But come the 4th of July, you think,
or New Year's
everybody
Eve,
everybody in the States breaking the law that night.
That's correct. So yeah, I
love that. I want, because not to change the subject of this, but actually the law is, if you go in to get fireworks that explode, you're supposed to have a little agriculture thing. You're using these for agriculture purposes.
Okay.
You birds. I don't know what you do with it in agriculture.
I don't either.
But you have to show a little thing that you're using it and sign that you're using these for agriculture purposes only.
Seriously.
Seriously. Now, it could have changed the last few years, but I know
Okay. All
like
right.
back in the years that, I lived in Fort Myers,
Right.
that was the law.
Doesn't stop those roadside, tents from popping up selling fireworks at, like you said, 4th of July and New Year's. So yeah.
And anymore, these fireworks aren't, like, like back in our day, the biggest fireworks you could buy was an M80, like the firecrackers.
Yeah.
Now, man, these things go up in the air, they explode, they do about everything. You can see it, one of the big city fireworks displays.
Yeah, I can't imagine. Well, I can't imagine how much money people must spend, because you said some people in their backyard last 4th of July. I forget where I was, but I was visiting a friend, and their neighborhood was doing the same thing, kind of, and it was like, oh my God, they must have spent hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of dollars. The people that live there. It wasn't like the neighborhood, the HOA or anything like that. It was the people who lived there. They had a big field and they made good use of it. So anyway. So yeah, fireworks. So there you go.
Now back to our conversation. Do you think that's true? I do. I often think the worst thing in the world you could be doing is talking to somebody and they're in an accident and you're on the phone.
Well, oh yeah, that would be kind of like a horror movie, wouldn't it? I mean, you know, so, but I don't know if I'm just talking to somebody. I mean, I could be talking to somebody in the car.
Yeah, I know.
You and I could be driving. You and I could be driving somewhere and we're having a conversation. But I mean, that's distracting too, in a way. If you're not paying 100% focused attention on what you're doing, if you're talking to somebody either live or on the phone or whatever, or maybe you got the rock and roll turned up really loud and you're singing along to something on the radio, who knows? It's all distractions.
Yeah.
Hurry up
I
and
know
get
it's a
that.
distraction sometimes, even, like let's say you got the air conditioning on.
Yeah.
And it's too cold or too hot. And so you
Fumble
try
with
to adjust it while you're driving. You're
fumble
looking
with the controls.
It says, with a phone and text, texting and driving.
Well, texting is the worst.
Just a few seconds.
Texting is the worst because you have to look away. Now, if you have, I don't know, it's Apple's CarPlay, and I know Google has their same thing for Android. You can talk. I can, talk to the phone and it will write out the text, and I've done that. So yeah. Yeah,
but how many times do you send a weird text?
Yeah, you end up sending something that's like totally, that made no sense.
Are you having a stroke?
Yeah.
What did you?
No, I'm having a car wreck. Okay. So I guess the answer to all this is we all buy Teslas and we just let the car do the driving. Simple answer. Let the car do the driving. And it doesn't have to be a Tesla. I mean, General Motors has that Super Cruise or whatever they call it now. That's almost every bit as good as the Tesla autopilot. So yeah, a couple of years, you're not going to drive anyway. In a few years, the car does it. You tell the car where you want to go, off you go.
Well, we had friends in town last week.
Uh-huh.
And they rented a car.
Right.
And he says it drove him crazy because the thing was braking when he was behind cars. And, it was doing all these things automatically. And it was just like, I think they went through a fast food drive-through too. And it wouldn't even let him get close to the car in front of him without it going. It wouldn't let him. You couldn't drive, and I should talk to my wife about this. And I've said that too. Why don't they pull up a little bit more? More cars could get in this line at this turn signal if somebody would just pull up. But now that I think about it, maybe they got one of these stupid cars that won't let them pull up.
You would think if I'm going, 0.2 miles per hour in a drive-through line that it would let me do that, but maybe not. That's a darn good question. I don't know anybody that drives a Tesla. I don't think.
Well, it wasn't a Tesla. It was a rental car.
Oh, okay. So,
it was like a new.
Sure.
Neither one of us, I don't think, drive like 22s or 23s, do we?
No.
My car's a 19.
Yeah. Yeah. Mine's a 18, I think. But yes, mine doesn't. And so, but that's crazy and interesting and weird. And again, the robots are taking over. So sorry, the robots are taking over. I just heard that I'll give credit where credit is due because he's another radio guy, not super popular with our audience, but I was listening to the Glenn Beck show yesterday. I know. And he was talking about now with AI, how good it is with voices. And you were talking about how one of the podcasts on Podcast Playground uses AI on the show sometime,
Yeah,
right?
the AI report, yes.
The
That's
AI
all it
report.
is.
Oh, really? So now it's getting so good that if somebody were to take, for example, here's Bill in his Dr. Evil costume, listening to the BJ and Bill podcast. I listen to BJ Odom. I feed BJ Odom's voice into an AI computer, and the computer can do your voice perfectly. And I can make it say anything. So I get on the phone to BJ's son, and in BJ's perfect voice, I say, "I'm been kidnapped. I'm in Mexico. Send $10,000 to this bank account and they'll let me go." And it's perfect. And you can't tell.
Now, I heard a report too. This was on television, though, not on the Glenn Beck show.
Right.
That this is becoming a problem.
Yes.
And not only that, but it almost sounds like the AI intelligence. Like if you say, well, it will answer you directly to questions you may ask.
It's that scary good. And I emphasize the scary. It's that scary good. Yeah.
Now, the TV report that I saw, and I don't know if Glenn said this or not, but you should get with your family.
Right.
And you should have like a safe word, like, not like when you're having, wild, weird sex, but you should have a safe word.
No, I get it. That's
with your family that, okay, what's our safe word?
Right.
Not going to know that.
But you better not say it you better not say it that way. Because now if I hear you say it on a video or something like that, I'll just reproduce that. I'll just tell the AI, make sure you say banana somewhere in the conversation.
So I guess the best thing to do is to write it down. Say
absolutely. That's how crazy it's getting. And I remember years and years ago, I was watching one of those TV shows where it showed like the president of the United States sending, the bombers overseas or whatever. And the president actually got on the radio with the pilot of one of the Air Force bombers because the kid was like freaking out or something. And the president's calm and reassuring and telling him, and now you can fake that. You can fake anything.
That is why, and I mentioned this in a podcast not too long ago, what really scares me about the upcoming election.
Oh. Which is?
AI.
Yeah. Yeah.
You can have Biden, Trump, DeSantis, anybody you want, say anything you want.
Say anything. Say anything.
And with AI, you can also reproduce video. You can have Bill Stevens saying, the BJ and Bill podcast sucks. And you could say that and it not even be you saying that.
That's right. That's right. Now the video it's good. It's not perfect yet. I don't know that. This is advancing so fast, and this is advancing by such gigantic leaps that every time a new version or a new something comes out and somebody says, "Oh, it can do this now." Really? You're kidding. No, it can do this now. It can do that thing now. It can, forget about passwords. If I put a supercomputer to work on your passwords, I'd know everything about you, everything. So yeah, it's scary, scary, scary. And nobody wants to seem to be able to say, hey, wait a minute, maybe we should just slow down for a second and see what we can do with this and see if it's the right thing to do. Or if we control the damn thing, do we still have and Beck even said that. Beck even said, okay, here's your sci-fi. Okay, it won't happen for a year. That's how close it is. He says the AI decides it needs a new server farm to be that much smarter. So the AI creates the digital requests for proposals and sends them out to construction companies. And the AI siphons $1 off of every not even $1. It siphons a nickel off of every banking transaction that's done in the United States for a month. generating several $billion with no problem and totally unseen. Everybody thinks it's just a little computer glitch or something. Oh, I lost a nickel. No big deal. And then it generates the work orders to have the thing built. And not a single human has ever approved any of this. And the AI does it all. I saw that movie. I saw that movie 30 years ago. Go to Netflix. I'm sure it might not even be on Netflix. Go find this movie, Colossus, the Forbin Project. Go find that movie. And it was in like the 70s. So it's clunky and it's hard. I mean, it's like weird to watch, but it is exactly this scenario of the computer taking over the world. And we say it now and we laugh. We have that nervous little chuckle. Oh, that's so cute, BJ and Bill, the computer taking over the world. Yeah, just wait. Just wait around for a while. Huh?
I said, yes, just wait till it happens. And then you can say, we said it first.
We said it first, damn it. Okay, I got worked up a little on that. I'm sorry. That was interesting. But the possibilities are so crazy. The possibilities are so outlandish that you don't even think of them. You don't even think. I did it. Now, have you ever tried it, by the way? Have you ever gone to ChatGPT?
No.
You have to sign. It's free. You sign up for an account. You get an account, whatever. And I was thinking of doing some YouTube videos for this project. You were asking me about this marketing project that I was doing about how to sell stuff online. So I typed into ChatGPT. I said, give me 10 bullet points on the upside. Tell me 10 good reasons why it's a great idea to have your own home business. Click enter. Literally 3 seconds. Bam, 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 bam. Well written, perfect English, makes sense, scary good. I've just eliminated the job of a copywriter somewhere. I've just eliminated the job of a marketing expert somewhere. One button, one question.
I wish I would have saved the article.
Right.
But there is currently, and I can't tell you the city, the state, anything.
Right.
But there is currently a radio station in the United States called Allison or something. I don't know what it's called, but the whole radio station is an AI voice that you would swear you were listening to a real live disc jockey.
Same voice 24/7, or do they even?
So.
You could mix it up too.
I think it's the same voice.
I want BJ and Bill in the morning. I want a lady at midday. I want a guy in the afternoon. I want a lady on overnight. And it's all the same computer. It doesn't matter. You just change the voice. It's crazy. So anyway,
well, all this AI. Here's another sad thing. Only a few people will be making the money. How will we survive when half the world's not making any money because an AI is doing your job?
Right. Well, if you push it out right now, we're in the change. Right now we're in the transition, and it's going to be pain for 5 years, 10 years, maybe. But you can see, then you get into the real Star Trek stuff. Then you get into the total Star Trek stuff out there where AI or the computer is doing all the hard work, everything. You can make a whole factory that builds Teslas with no humans, right? None of them, unneeded. You could make all of it. Somebody could get a heart transplant from an AI doctor that knows what a body looks like and knows what the inside looks like and knows what to do, and would probably do a better job than a human because they're not going to make a mistake. They're not going to make a slip of the knife or whatever. So now the question is, all right, what do us humans do? What do we do? I don't know. Do we all become musicians and painters and poets? It's cute.
No, because the AIs will be doing that too.
They could. They absolutely can do all of that. So what do we do? Does the machine eventually decide I don't need you anymore and it becomes the Matrix, or what? I don't know. That's the weird part.
Quit talking, Bill Stevens. I'm getting scared now. I just want to go to bed and I don't want to worry about it no more.
The good news is you and I are too old for this. It's the good news is you and I will not see the end of this, but the young people of today, I'm concerned for them. I don't know what is going to happen, and somebody better figure it out soon. So
It's like my grandson spending all this money to become a pilot. By the time he gets his pilot license, he might not even need a pilot.
He won't need a pilot. Well, I mean, you can still do the thing that you love to do, but you're not going to do it professionally. You're not going to, like I said, heart surgeon, lawyer. You're not going to do that professionally. If you want to be a pilot for the fun of doing the piloting, go for it. Great.
Now, I don't understand this, but it's either developed or they're working on it.
Right.
There's an AI that can actually tell if you have heart problems.
Really? Well, I mean,
what I heard it on, where I heard it, I just remember that I heard it.
Right. I'm sure that when it remember that was what a great old show. Remember that old doctor show called House?
Oh, yeah.
Where they would figure out these really complicated, really crazy, really nobody's ever heard of it before medical conditions. With AI, you just program all of that knowledge into one computer. You sit down at the computer, you type in, okay, tell me what's going on. Tell me how you feel. Tell me what hurts. Tell me where, all of that. And the computer spits out, all right, here's your top 3 possibilities of what you've got or what's going on. Or, tell me what you eat. Tell me how much you slept. Tell me, I'm not smart enough to even know what things to ask about, but somewhere somebody is. And the crazy thing is you only have to do it once, because once you program the computer to ask these questions or to do this diagnosis, then the computer, every time somebody works with it, it gets smarter. It gets smarter. It gets smarter and knows more to ask and knows better. And we don't get that smarter that fast. So
just think it wasn't that long ago that we listened to and we thought it was the coolest thing in the world. You've got mail.
You've got mail. That's right. You've got mail. And now nobody emails anymore. It's all by text.
And who, that was like the neat. Oh my God, it just told me I had mail.
And that's the greatest thing. It's the coolest thing. Your friends can email you back and forth and send pictures and all kinds of fun stuff. And now the AI can find your phone number and text you a message out of nowhere telling you to do something crazy or stupid or send somebody money or something. It's all right. I mean, all right. I think we have gone off the deep end well enough here to cover that craziness.
Well, that was another thing when they said also,
what's that?
If you get one of those calls, because they are happening.
Sure.
We have your child or something like that.
Sure.
I guess if it's a small child, there's nothing you can do, but like on the side, try to get a hold of this child.
Sure.
Do all the things you can to confirm that.
Yes.
The voice you're getting is
right.
Is true.
Right.
And
yeah, I was thinking of the political stuff when you were talking about that before. What if I had Joe Biden call 1 million voters today and say, hey guys, I changed my mind. Don't bother voting for me. I'm not going to do it anyway. I don't care anymore. Think that might sway an election? Yeah, it might. So yeah, oh gosh. All right, BJ Odom, we are just let us assure you, by the way, folks listening at home, BJ and Bill are sadly imperfectly human. We are the real thing.
And I think we should put this podcast in an archive somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
So people can actually hear what real humans, how we communicated back
in the day.
In the beginning of TikTok and all that. Back in the day, this was like 2 old guys. Right. This is how they talked.
That's not so dumb. I mean, that's almost prophetic and beautiful. I mean, it really is, to be able to say, this is what it was like. This is the way people talked. And it was clumsy and imperfect and all of that stuff, but it was real. It was real.
But if the AI is using BJ and Bill as examples, would it be as clumsy and as witty and as messed up as we both are?
I am guessing, and I don't know this, but I'm guessing you could program it to do and to be and do anything. Listen to BJ Odom's voice for an hour. I don't. It probably doesn't even take an hour. Listen to BJ Odom's voice for a few minutes. Listen to how he speaks. Listen to how he talks. Listen to how Bill stumbles over words. Listen to how Bill uses crazy made-up words. And then do that. And again, could you tell the difference? I don't know. Maybe you and I need to come up with like a safe word that we can tell our audience, and they'll know that it's us. Crazy.
We can't say it out loud, though. We have to write it.
No, we'd have
then
to.
They won't be able to see it.
Well, we could. How could you do it? So you've just found another problem. I was going to say you could post it on Facebook. Oh, okay. The computer doesn't read Facebook. I think it does. So I don't know. We could go to everybody's house. We'll just have to go to everybody's house, BJ, every listener, and say, here, give them a little Post-it note. Here's our word. Don't share this. Wow. Crazy. It's crazy. All right. I don't know. I think I've worn myself out on this craziness for today. I don't know. How about you?
I need to go drink.
All right. Before I'm writing this down, next week, can we tell the AI to come up with 5 pieces of show prep for the podcast and then just do a show that's all AI inspired? You'd have to, the skill is in asking the right question, because it can answer any question. The skill is in the exact question that you need to ask to tell it show prep. Or, okay, BJ and Bill, we like funny stories about everyday people out across the country. Go and find 5 funny stories, and tell us the basics of it, or whatever, that kind of a thing. So anyway, I might just have to play with that. I might. Scary stuff.
And by the way, if you want to listen to the AI report,
yes,
you can get it on the Podcast Playground Network.
Please go visit them.
Yeah, their Facebook page is the Podcast Playground. Same as the website. Don't forget the word the podcastplayground.com. Of course, you can get our podcast and basically almost any podcast in the world you want.
Right.
But there's 20 that are actually, who knows what the number is this week.
Originals.
It keeps growing.
Right.
But there's over 20 on the network. In-house
podcasts,
yes,
of which we are absolutely positively the flagship.
Sometime I should go through all the podcasts. You know whose son does a podcast on the Podcast Playground?
Yes, I do know whose son does a podcast on the Podcast Playground.
Oh yeah, my son, but someone else's son.
Oh, there's a different one? Who?
Remember Dee Snider?
Yes, from Twisted Sister.
His son is doing a podcast on the Podcast Playground Network.
I'm surprised I remembered that, and B, that is super cool. So
yeah,
why not every week we do, for the next few weeks, we do 2 or 3, we feature 2 or 3 of them every week, and then we can just talk them up, and maybe they'll do the same for us.
That sounds like a plan.
I know.
I'll tell you who should promote us is Zito, Jeff Zito.
Why?
Because I talk about his podcast all the time.
Oh yeah.
The Celebrity Jobber. I couldn't remember it last week.
Right. What they would do.
Jobber with Jeff Zito.
I think I went over to his Facebook page. What celebrities would be doing if they weren't superstars, actor, actress, rock star.
It's ours is a good podcast. Don't get me wrong, people.
Right.
But there is a little twist to his that I really enjoy.
Yeah.
And I think my favorite one to date is Mr. Wonderful. Kevin
O'Leary?
Yeah.
Was on that podcast? All right, I got to go find that.
You need to find that one. And that is one of the greatest stories you will ever hear.
Can you share a little bit without giving away the whole thing?
The best part is why he decided to be an entrepreneur.
Okay.
Why he always wanted to work for himself.
Okay.
And not the man. And it happened on his very first job.
I have got to go listen to that. And that's when he said,
I'm never going to work for the man again. I'm working for me and me alone.
I love that. I love that. All right, everybody.
It's a cool story. It really is, folks.
I look forward to
the
listening.
Celebrity Jobber was Jeff Zito.
Jeff
I want to say, I wonder if the AI can do that. Jeff Zito.
All right, AI. We're going to need you to mess up just like BJ Odom does. No problem. All right, everybody. Have a great week. Stay human out there. Maybe that's my new tagline. Stay human. Stay safe. We'll see you next week. Up to then, it's just up to Mr. BJ Odom to say,
see ya.